Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So our topic for today is quantitative and research designs. First, we're going to discuss the descriptive research. When we say description or descriptive research, we describe the population, situation, or phenomenon according to the characteristics and components. It answers questions including what, when, how, and where. It doesn't deal with the questions including why because questions including why allow people to answer open-ended. Since we're now in the quantitative research, we focus more on close-ended, yung pagpipilian lang talaga. Okay, when we say the examples, okay, the statistician aims to know the percentage of people living in the Philippines who favored mass testing as a solution against COVID-19. So what the researcher or statistician aim to know is the percentage. Okay, so ang tanong, bale lumalabas ang tanong ay, what is the percentage of people living in the Philippines who favored mass testing as a solution against COVID-19? Another example, the school physician aims to know the heights and weights of the grade 12 students. So, ang inaalam nila yung height at weight ng grade 12 students. So, ito yung mga example ng descriptive research. When we say evaluation research, it checks and assesses the effects, impacts, or outcomes of practices, policies, and programs. For example, I am going to observe how the Graphmatica has helped the students in terms of solving math or graphing math. Okay, so nandun na siya sa example 2. So, the mathematics coordinator targets to assess the effectivity of Graphmatica on teaching students. So, ang ginigrade nila, yung effectivity ng Graphmatica. Sa number 1 naman po, the manager of the restaurant aims to check the satisfactory rating about the customer service. So, ang ginigrade nila yung customer service. Another example, the researcher also aims to see if nag-i-improve ang bata through the specific teaching strategy. So, ang ginigrade nila yung progress, status, at outcome. When we say survey research, it serves as a basic tool for all quantitative studies. It is used to gather responses and information from individuals or groups concerned. So, kailangan nyo talaga ng survey sa bawat quantitative study regardless of the research design na gagamitin. It can be done in several various ways such as face-to-face, online, and paper questionnaire. Since new normal na tayo ngayon, more on online tayo. Maari through Messenger, maari through Google Form, or other platforms. It has two types, namely longitudinal and cross-sectional. When we say longitudinal, you're going to conduct the survey within the same group for a long period of time. For example, ang i-conduct ko ng study, mga PSI students lang, doon lang within 6 months. Pag sinabing cross-sectional, you're going to gather answers from different groups. For example, Chinese, American, Japanese, or Korean. You're going to conduct with them at the same time. Bale, iba't ibang sections. Pag sinabing longitudinal, iisang section lang. So, ito yung example ng survey. So, nakikita niyo to. So, parang Likert scale yung 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So, iti-tick mark niyo lang sa bawat item kung anong rating maibibigay mo. When we say experimental research, it uses scientific methods to test cause and effect relationships under conditions controlled by the researcher. So, dito naman, ang minamanipulate ng researcher or kinokontrol is the independent variable para makita na natin yung effects ng dependent variable. So, they provide treatment and interventions to the participant. Okay, so there are the 3 kinds of experimental research. Pag sinabing pre-experimental, ang group lang i-conduct mo is the treatment only. Walang control. Pag sinabing quasi-experimental, the subjects are not randomly assigned to the group. So, tayo ang mamimili kung sino-sino ang participants natin. So, bale, kinokontrol na natin. So, individualization ang method na gagamitin sa mga participants. For example, makakonduct ako ng study for student A in 5 days, sa student B in 7 days, yung ganun, iba't ibang panahon lang. So, treatment and control groups differ in treatment and settings. Pag sinabing true experimental, the subjects are randomly assigned to the groups. Only one variable can be manipulated and tested. So, ang pakakaiba kasi ng quasi at true, yung true kasi hindi tayo mamimili. So, random siya. Pag sinabing quasi, tayo ang mamimili kung sino mga participants natin. When we say examples of experimental research, okay, shall I say this? The researcher seeks to conduct an intervention using fraction tiles for grade 7 students and later compares them with the grade 7 students who have not undergone the intervention. So, yun po yung example ng control and treatment group. Yung treatment group, yun yung mga batang mag-undergo ng intervention using the fraction tiles. Samantalang pag sinabing control, yung mga hindi nag-undergo ng intervention. So, kino-compare si experimental at si control. Okay, pag sinabing second example, okay, a guidance counselor conducts a diagnostic test for the grade 6 students regarding their grammar and vocabulary skills. Then she conducts an intervention with them. Later, she will conduct a post-test. So may post-test tayo, may pre-test tayo, may intervention. Bakit kailangan natin ng pre-test? Para malalaman natin ano yung mga skills nila before the intervention. Pag sinabing post-test, yun yung test kung saan, kung natututo ba mga bata sa intervention. So, kino-compare yung scores nila sa pre-test and post-test. Pag sinabing casual comparative research, it is also known as ex-post factor, also known as after the fact. It explores and determines the cause and effect relationships where experiments are not implemented. So, bali non-experimental siya, bali no intervention siya. It compares separate groups of participants. So, for example, magagather ako ng online reviews about, let's say, sa Manila Hotel, tapos sa Okada. So, i-compare ko yung reviews yung dalawa. So, bali, hindi kailangan ng intervention. Magsasurvey ka lang sa isang grupo, magsasurvey ka sa another group, i-compare mo lang. Ito yung examples ng casual comparative research. A researcher seeks to measure the comprehension skills of students studying at Montessori schools and compare the scores with the groups of the students studying at a non-Montessori schools. So ang kino-compare nila, yung comprehension skills, yung mga taga-Montessori at hindi taga-Montessori. A researcher focuses on measuring the attitudes of grade 11 students undergoing homeschooling and compare the attitudes of grade 11 students undergoing regular schooling. So kino-compare na natin yung attitudes ng homeschooled at nasa regular schooling. So, bale, you're just going to compare two groups, pero same lang yung variable. When we say correlational research, it examines the relationship between two or more values. The variables are not controlled nor manipulated, so walang manipulation dyan. So, ito yung example. A dietitian wants to examine the relationship between the protein intake and heights of the teenager. So, inaalam na natin yung correlation ng dalawa. Ganon din man sa example number 2. A researcher aims to know the relationship between the academic students and absenteeism of students. Okay, so ang inaalam na natin yung relationship between the academic performances and absenteeism. So, yung academic performances at absenteeism, two distinct variables na kino-compare as relationship, nire-relate. Okay, so do not forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell button. So thank you and God bless. Happy learning!